Good evening. This is the Toothless Vape Reviews. I thought tonight I'd do some news. And our first news story, it happened last year, but it came back up into the Washington Post as of the 20th. A teen's injuries looked like he was in a high-speed crash. Instead, a vape pen exploded in his mouth. When the 17-year-old boy arrived at Primary Children's Hospital in Salt Lake City, his entire jaw was cracked, a chunk of the bone had been completely shattered, several of his teeth were missing, and there was a hole in his chin. That's an injury we see in high-speed motor vehicle crashes. A pediatric surgeon who treated the teenager last March told the Washington Post, "It's a big injury." Reading this story, I'm not going to get too much into it. Just go up on the Washington Post. You can read most of it yourself. But he was using something from vgod. And what I went on just looking on the site, vgod is a mechanical mod for more professional vapors. And this is part of the story. The vape pen was supposed to improve the kid's life. I'm not going to say his name. His mother told the Post. He had asked her for it last year because he thought it could help him quit smoking. Her son, then 17, that's why nobody under 18 should be vaping, assured her that he had done his research and vaping was safe. So she got him the one he wanted. After vaping for a month, he gets a mechanical device. She thought it was safe because he said so. 17-year-old. That's why we're having these injuries. These injuries are not popping up because experienced vapors. These injuries are popping up because people throw them in their pockets. They bounce around. Batteries bounce around. Mechanical mods, you get them bouncing around, and they're not meant for inexperienced vapors. A 17-year-old that has a month of vaping experience convinced his mother that, oh, this is what I want, so she went out and bought it for him. Well, the first problem is 17 years old. The second problem is mom believed the 17-year-old. After a month, he had enough experience. I've been vaping for a year and a half. I've been testing different devices. I only use regulated devices. I will not use a mechanical device. I don't feel safe. I'm not saying they're not safe. They are safe. Plenty of reviews on how safe they are, as long as you know what you're doing. But I prefer using a regulated device, similar to my taggers here by Smoan, right here. Has the 2 batteries in it, and I will go into it real quick. The 2 batteries that go in the back. You've got venting here. You have your electronics up here. You have your electronics down the side here. You have some venting in the bottom. But this is a regulated device. This will not. You cannot overfire. I mean, you can cook the coil in here, but this is not going to explode. The device will stop it from exploding. But giving a 17-year-old a mechanical device because he said, I'm experienced enough, after 1 month. I've been vaping for approximately almost 20 months, and I don't feel safe using them. I don't trust myself, and it's myself. But they're good devices. As long as you're careful, as long as you do your research. But a 17-year-old doing his research, that's why it happened. To mothers out there and fathers out there, if your teenage son comes up to you and they say, I know what I'm doing, I've been vaping for a whole month, I think mom and dad, before they start giving any teenager anything, should do their research and find out how safe it is. You also have clone devices. This doesn't say. It only says it came from the company. Doesn't say if it was a clone, which it could have been. They don't go into the detail on that. It says a device from the company vgod. But even after buying it, The mother couldn't shake a niggling concern. She had heard about e-cigarettes exploding. I told him, "You've got to be careful. These things have happened. They get hot." It says on March 26, 2018, after about a month after the kid started vaping, the mother had just gotten home from work and was in her bedroom with her husband when the pair suddenly heard a loud pop. Unsure of the sound's origin, Burton said she initially thought a circuit breaker might have shorted out. Then her son burst into the room in a panic. He was screaming, "It blew up! It blew up!" It, you know, giving a 17-year-old giving a 17-year-old a device that's for professional vapors, that was the first mistake. A 17-year-old going up to mom saying, "I've done my homework on this," and mom going, "Oh yeah, no problem. Let's go out and buy it for you. Here you go, son. It's yours." Someone didn't do their homework, and that's both the parents and the child. That's why people under the age of 18 or 21, depending on the state you're in, should not be vaping. This is why the industry gets black eyes, because you have underage people vaping. This is safer, but you still have to be safe with it. You can't have it bouncing around in your pocket. You can't have it. Buy a vape bag. I have a vape bag. I don't have it on me, but I have a bag. I put it over my shoulder. I put everything in there. It keeps it from, it's not bouncing around. It's like in my pocket. All my batteries are in some kind of a battery holder. They're not running around loose with chains rattling around my pockets. There's been a few accidents like that. So this is one story that I do feel sorry, but I think the parents should have done their homework as well as if they had done their homework, they would have seen this is for someone who is more professional, not a 17-year-old with 1 month's vaping experience. Again, thank you for watching. This is only the first story. I'll go find a couple more. Sorry for the jump cut. Story number 2. And this everybody's probably heard, but if not, San Francisco will become the first city to ban all vape sales. Pronouncing themselves leaders, the San Francisco Board of Supervisors voted to ban all vaping products from being sold until the FDA approves them. The law requires another vote, but the results will not change. The supervisors unanimously approved the prohibition. The law bans sales in city stores and even online sales into the city. San Francisco will not ban combustible cigarettes. So let's leave the more dangerous product out there, and the less dangerous product, let's take that off the market. Well, of course, they make more money in taxes, so, of course, more money in their pockets. They don't make the money off of vaping that they make off of cigarettes, so we'll leave cigarettes on the table. They were supposed to be doing vaping and smoking. I wonder who paid off who. I don't for a minute believe that any politician who is serious about trying to prevent youth smoking would propose as a solution allowing cigarettes to remain on the shelves without any further restrictions whatsoever. Boston University public health professor Michael Siegel, a well-known tobacco control expert. But that is precisely what the Board of Supervisors is poised to do. This legislation takes a reasoned approach, said City Attorney Dennis Herrera in a statement. It doesn't ban e-cigarettes outright. It simply says that if a tobacco product is required to have an FDA approval to be on the market, it can't be sold in San Francisco until it receives that approval. Yeah. No vape manufacturer submitted a product to the FDA for marketing approval, mainly because there is widespread doubt the agency will approve one, and it could cost millions to complete the research and analysis the agency requires for a pre-market tobacco application. PMTA. The FDA didn't even issue final PMTA guidance till last week, nearly 3 years after announcing the deeming rule. It's $500,000 per product per PMTA for your application to get approved. So you come up with $500,000, and that's per product. That is not, or per device. That is not one company, and it covers it all. But of course, Big Tobacco, because it was, for the PMTA in the United States, Big Tobacco is funding it with their billions, so of course IQOS got okayed. The San Francisco ban is being sold as an answer to the explosive popularity of San Francisco-based Juul and the teen vaping fad that former FDA Commissioner Scott Gottlieb called an epidemic. But losing the profits from sales in San Francisco will barely affect Juul's bottom line. The company isn't even offended enough to move out. Juul just purchased a 28-story office building in the city for a reported $400 million. Juul says it will eventually occupy the entire building in addition to maintaining its current headquarters in the city. That's one thing we have to try to do. If we can't put Juul out of business, we got to put a dent in their business. They sold the kids in, 2000, when they come out, 2015, 2016, 2017. Look at the models they use. Look just like kids. And there's been rumors running around that Juul wanted the kids, and they got the kids. Now they go around with these secret shoppers saying, "Oh, you didn't card me. I'm going to report you." But they have no business doing that because they're the ones who started the epidemic on teen vaping. And you look at their device, small, can hide it in the hand. I mean, any device you have now, most of your pods, I put it in my hand, I either have to hold it open or it does stick out in either end, and I have a good sized hand. But being small like the Juul, of course. The controversial vape manufacturer is also leading a ballot initiative to overturn the vape ban. After collecting the required signatures from residents, the question will be put to voters this November. If passed, the measure would make vape sales in the city legal again. In fact, according to vaping advocate Stefan Didak, since the ban doesn't take effect until 7 months after the mayor signs it into law, it could be voided before it even starts. Of course, that's Juul doing it. They don't want to put it... Earlier in the article, it says it won't even put a dent in their business, but they're the ones that are pushing for it not to be there at all. I mean, that would be a good thing for anybody who doesn't use a Juul. Let's hope it does go. Let's hope that the city votes vaping back in again and not have these city councilors, they think they're God, try to ruin adults' lives. San Francisco prohibited sales of flavored vaping products along with flavored combustible and smokeless tobacco products last year, after residents voted to uphold the ban passed by the supervisors. That ballot measure was painted by opponents as a big tobacco trick. Anti-vaping organizations and elected officials will do the same thing this time. We spent the 90s battling big tobacco, and now we see its new form in e-cigarettes, said Supervisor Sherman Walton, co-sponsor of the ban. Not much after that. But if you want to read this story, and it's full, it's under Vaping 360. San Francisco will become the first city to ban all vape sales. So you might want to go down there and read it on the internet. Enjoy it. I just put it up there to give everybody an outline to what's going on. Of course, I don't know what to say. And then they say adults should have choices. What are their choices? Cigarettes, Big Pharma, big tobacco or nothing. The hell with vaping. Big Pharma makes their money off of the filters. Big Tobacco makes their money off of the cigarettes. Then when you try to quit, Big Pharma makes their money off of the nicotine products that do not work. I've tried them many a times. This works. And I tried the gum, I tried the patch, I tried the lozenges, I tried the little pills you put under your tongue. I went to smoking cessation classes. The longest I quit was for a month. And November 5th of 2019 will be 2 years I have been off of cigarettes. I have not tried a cigarette. I've gotten an urge occasionally, but I've not tried one since then, and I enjoy vaping and the flavors. Again, thank you for watching my channel. I know your time is precious. I appreciate it very much from the bottom of my heart. I hope you find this news useful. And again, thank you for watching my channel and have a good night.